Full body tracking. It's pretty neat, and if you mainly play VR chat, you really should look at getting it. But getting your hands on full body tracking can be a real pain in the butt. People will tell you that Vive trackers are better, people will tell you that you should get IMUs instead, but there's one thing that I don't see people cover enough. Straps, the unsung hero of full body tracking, and in my current situation, a necessary evil. There really are only two trusted strap companies, and for the most part, they're fine. If you go with Rebuff Reality or EOZ, you're pretty set. They both have high build quality and a good reputation, as well as the flexibility of getting straps with built-in battery banks in case you decide to play for like 16 hours at a time. I personally use Rebuff Reality straps for everything. I use 2 track belts, one for my hip and one for my chest, and 2 track straps for my feet. They've held up pretty well, except for the one time that I accidentally stepped on one of the track belt clips and broke it, but a dab of Harambe glue fixed that. But in my opinion, straps come with some flaws. This is going to seem really nitpicky. These aren't major flaws by any means, and are hyper specific to me. But you'll see where I'm going with this. First, even when straps are properly adjusted, they can put pressure in weird spots on your foot, leading to an uncomfortable feeling over a really long play session. And 2, even with them properly adjusted, straps like to rotate. So if you're interested in doing something in VR chat other than laying down, like dancing, I find that track straps rotate ever so slightly. So while my foot might initially be flat in the game, it can take on an awkward little angle over time, and you know what that means. It's time to recalibrate. My VR setup is just really unfriendly as a whole already. Plug in the base stations, plug in my face tracker, plug in the arrow, launch Vario base and VR CFD, and pray. Then I get to strap myself full of trackers. It's a bit of a process. So here's what I'm doing to make my life just a little bit easier with a bit of style. First, I got a cheap set of smart switches so I can just yell at my Google Home to turn on and off my base stations. It's time to be a degenerate. Oh, what are you doing? You can also use an app on your phone to control them directly, but I ended up running into more issues than it was worth for me. It's worth a shot though. And now for the part that I'm really excited for. These are Crocs. Made of military grade carbon fiber composite foam with a built-in 3-inch lift and selectable 4-wheel drive. Optional aero package for maximum stability, complete with twin 9mm turbos good for 800 horsepower. Rounded out with a plush fur interior to maintain warmth in the dead of winter. I'm putting trackers on these. Now, you can't just slap Vive trackers onto these things, obviously. The solution?
Zip ties!
Fuck. These things are just so handy. Space in the engine bay is a little tight on my Crocs, but we should be able to fit our tracker snugly between the turbos as long as we clock the tracker perfectly. Of course, we're going to want to make sure that we can access our charge port easily. If you are going to do this, I would really encourage you to look for a pair of lined ones like these. That lining keeps zip ties and other stuff from touching the top of your foot. 3 zip ties thrown through should do the job. Now add one final touch to pay respect to the old gods, and we should be good. If you haven't put it together yet, Crocs are just really comfortable and easy to slip on rather than a strap. And they serve a functional purpose. The trackers won't rotate at all and make me have to recalibrate for one little tiny slip up. And if you go for ridiculous platforms for the meme like me, not only will you be able to look down on your enemies, but you'll never again feel the pain of dropping stuff in VR, and it ends up going below your physical floor, meaning you can never grab it again. You could do this pretty easily with any old pair of shoes instead of buying straps or Crocs, but above all else, just don't be the guy that wears their straps barefoot. As stupid as it sounds, these things are just what I needed. Comfort in VR really goes a long way. Just feel free to decorate your VR Crocs however you'd like. A huge thank you to Kago, Symphony Soup, Handlebars, Kazumi, Joxton, and Sarovic for joining the Patreon. Your support goes a long way. Have a good one, homies.